The half a minute, that's how long the Sabah earthquake lasted in 2015.
The disaster killed 18 people and is still sending shockwaves through the lives of survivors a decade on.
The 6.0 magnitude earthquake struck Malaysia's Mount Kinabalu, setting off a thunderous rumble that echoed through nearby villages. Climbers and guides ran for cover as an avalanche of rocks and boulders rained down the mountain slopes. But for some, it was too late. Among those who died was a group of school children and teachers from Singapore.
10 years on, 2 survivors have found a way to triumph in the face of that tremendous tragedy by going back to the mountains to complete the hike and commemorate the disaster. One of the 2, who was then only in primary school, Emyr Uzayr, is here to tell us more about the entire experience. Emyr, welcome to Asia First. As the saying goes, how did you end up on the mountain? You were, in primary school then?
In primary 6 in Tanjong Primary School. This whole expedition was part of the Omega Challenge. It was an annual expedition for primary 6 students, and it was an annual leadership thing. So to be selected for this, you had to undergo rigorous selection processes. You had to be top of class, you had to have leadership positions, and it was something we all looked forward to since primary 1. It was really, really recognized by the school. Okay. So me, myself, I took part in the student councils. I was an EXCO member. I had a couple of CCAs and I scored really well for my examinations.
Okay, and you had to go through interviews and that sort of thing?
Yes, a lot.
And in an instant, everything changed. Could you just recount for us exactly when the quake hit?
Okay, so the quake hit when we were on an activity called Via Fetra. It was a protected climbing route along the perimeters of Mount Kinabalu. And it really emphasized the importance of teamwork. So to put this into detail, if one person moves, everyone has to move. If one person stops, everyone has to stop. So to complete this, you really have to work as a team effectively.
All right.
Yeah. Everything was as per normal. Everyone was having fun, jokes, laughter. I can still recall it all. I and my late friend, Emyr Uzayr, I can still recall us teasing Wafik. He was in group 1, I was in group 2. We were telling him and shouting, hey, faster, move faster, you're slowing everyone down. We were kids back then. We were just 11 years old. And we were just having fun.
Yep.
The atmosphere, I can still recall it all. It was lively.
Yeah.
And then everything changed. I heard a loud roar. It was a sound of thunder. At the moment I looked up at the clouds. It wasn't raining. It was not dark clouds whatsoever. I looked up to my right and I saw a boulder the size of a van, which came toppling down from the right onto the groups which were at the starting area of the Via Fetra. And then 1 second later, the whole mountain shook. And when it shook, you felt like an ant.
Yep.
You felt like you can do nothing. You felt so helpless, you felt so hopeless, and hell just came raining on us after that.
Right.
I looked in front, I saw rocks, thousands of them. And these are not small rocks, these are big, huge ones, boulders the size of our car tires. And this came tumbling on us. At that moment, we had just started on the activity, and where we were, it was a very steep slope.
Right.
So these rocks, they were on top, and they kept tumbling on us at very fast speeds.
Right. And so you were just lucky that you survived, and some of your schoolmates did not.
Yes, I was in group 2 myself. I was with the other survivor that went up on this trip, Prajesh. We were hit really, really hard.
Yeah.
At that moment, I heard the teacher shout, "Get down."
Yep.
So I laid down immediately.
Yep.
Rocks kept hitting me. I watched my friends, my late friends. I saw them. I saw how they passed on.
Right.
To my left, to my right. And it just took 30 seconds to do all those damage. Really, and
So we played, one moment, from that particular earthquake. Does it bring back nightmares for you, bad memories for you, or have you come to terms with it?
It does bring about those memories, the bad ones, but it also brings about the good ones.
Yep.
Myself, I choose not to think about the bad ones. I choose to just recount the good ones, like the happy memories, the laughter, the conversations we had with my late friends. And my late friends, they were mature. And we had these mature conversations, our dreams for the future, our aspirations, we had that all.
And how long were you on the mountain after all this, after the 30 seconds passed? Did it seem like forever before help arrived?
The 30 seconds did feel like forever. Yeah. It really did. I think it's the longest 30 seconds in my whole life. I can still recall it all. After that, a guide actually went up to me. He rappelled sideways towards me, and he saw me still breathing. He patted on my back and asked me, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" I was still in shock. I didn't know what to do, so I froze. He then cut my rope and told me to carefully rappel sideways to the starting area to find safety.
Right.
And when I was walking over, I saw colours everywhere. Colours of my friends' jackets. They were all not moving anymore. Yeah.
And if it's okay, could you just maybe show us your scar, just to show our audience how traumatic and severe the situation was?
Okay, so my scar behind,
Oh my goodness.
So I actually fractured my skull, and my helmet, it broke into half.
Wow. How many stitches did you need?
I cannot recall.
Many.
Yeah.
Okay.
Certainly things that no 11-year-old should have seen or experienced. So I just wonder, how did you even begin to heal for something so traumatic?
Okay. At the start, it wasn't easy. I gotta admit, it wasn't easy. There were times at night where visions would just come in, and I wouldn't be able to sleep. I would just go into my parents' room and tell them about it. It was hard. It was really hard. And a few years after that, I did experience a bit of survivor's guilt. The thinking of, hey, why did I survive? Why didn't my friends who had better potential in life, who were smarter than me in many ways, who were better than me in many ways, why didn't they survive? So I had that survivor's guilt.
Okay. And as part of your recovery, you decided you just had to go back to Mount Kinabalu, finish what you didn't actually quite get to finish, and you put together a little video of your experience as well. So before we ask you about it, let's have a quick look.
So guys, everyone, I kept my promise and I finished it. I finished it for them.
Incredibly emotional, Emyr. Could you just tell us what sort of inspired you to go back? And what was going through your mind?
Yeah, and I also want to know whether you actually took the exact same route, or has that route been closed and you had to take a different way up?
Okay. When I was up there, it was cathartic, After 10 years, I finished off what we didn't manage to finish off last 10 years. Why I went up again, it's to complete it once and for all. For 10 years, I had that desire to just finish it. It's been in my mind, and I just had to do it to honor my friends.
Yeah, and did you know whether you took the same route?
The route we took last time, it was part of the Via Fetra route.
Okay.
It's already closed off. Damage, it's too much.
Okay.
The day before the summit climb, we actually visited it, and memories came in. Starting back.
I can imagine.
Yeah, but it felt good knowing what actually happened.
Yep.
Our guide Cornelius, he shared with us where the rocks came from, how he rescued us. So all these missing links, we finally get to know.
Yeah. So closure for you in many ways.
In many, many ways.
Fantastic. Well, congratulations. Good on you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming in and sharing your story of resilience, courage, and hope. Thank you. That was Emyr Uzayr, a survivor of the 2015 Sabah earthquake.